brought to you by Penguin.
The Habsburgs, written by Martyn Rady, read by Simon Bowie.
A note on names. All names of places are given by reference to their current names in use. The exception is Budapest, where Buda and Pest are used separately up until 1873, when the two cities merged. The names of people follow no consistent scheme. Generally, the names given are the ones most often used in the current historical literature, so Archduke Ludwig, but Archduke John. Where there is no consensus, names have been anglicized. The German F ending in proper names has generally been rendered PH. Introduction. An Emperor's Library. The Hofburg was the winter palace of the Habsburgs and is now Vienna's main tourist attraction. Horse-drawn carriages take sightseers through its arches and along the narrow streets of the neighbouring old city. Crowds press through tight alleys, spilling carelessly into the traffic when they spot the white noses of the Lipizzaner horses in their stables. Apart from the green-domed St. Michael's Wing, built in the 19th century, the palace exterior is unimpressive, comprising consecutive courtyards, now used as car parks, with surrounding facades in a generally subdued Baroque style. At least today's Hofburg is in good repair. Photographs and lantern slides from the time before 1918, when it was still a working palace, show fallen masonry, cracked walls, and broken windows. For much of its history, the Hofburg has been a building site. Successive emperors added on wings, tore down obstacles to improvement, and rebuilt in stone rather than wood. Until the late 17th century, the Hofburg was also integral to the city's defences and rested against one of Vienna's bastioned walls. The Ottoman Turks last set siege to the city in 1683. With their defeat, it was finally possible for Habsburg emperors to conceive of the Hofburg as a palace and ceremonial stage and not as a fortified residence. At the heart of the Hofburg is a so-called Old Fort, Alte Burg. The reconstruction of the palace in the late 17th and 18th centuries has built over it so that little trace of the original fabric of the old fort is visible today. Put up in the first half of the 13th century, the old fort was a massive stone keep, 50 metres, 160 feet square, with 4 towers each topped with high gable roofs and finials. Despite its size, the interior of the old fort was bleak. Visitors complained of the courtyard within, which was insufficiently broad for a cart to turn, of the cramped chambers, mouldy staircases, and lack of tapestries on the walls. But the purpose of the Hofburg's old fort was not to impress by the luxury of its accommodation. It was intended to overawe the city and countryside beyond, and to communicate a message of power. The old fort became the first Habsburg emblem. In origin, the Habsburgs were a Central European dynasty, and Austria was their heartland. But in the 16th and 17th centuries, they were also rulers of Spain and of Spain's possessions in the Low Countries, Italy, and the New World. Although by then militarily obsolete, the design of the old fort was reproduced in the great castles that the Habsburgs either commissioned or rebuilt in Spain, in Toledo and Madrid, and it was carried to the Americas. In Mexico, the blockhouse with 4 towers was a mark of the power wielded by the first royal governors. Lesser men had to be content with just 2 towers. In the Holy Roman Empire, over which the Habsburgs ruled as emperors, and which is very roughly where Austria, Germany, and the Czech Republic are today, ambitious princes also built 4-tower keeps as a way of communicating their own prestige. The Habsburgs were the first rulers whose power encompassed the world, and they achieved greatness by luck and...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?